and welcome to the Elite YGO. My name is Reese, and today we're going to be doing a deck profile, and today it's going to be Fluffles on the chopping block. Now, as you guys may or may not know, Fluffles got some new support in Rise of the Duelist, and if you had watched Steph's video from a couple days ago, you would know that I was going to be doing this video because he pretty much forced me into doing it by teasing it. So now I'm here to give you what he promised on my behalf. That's the kind of team we are. So, for the most part, this support has actually been really powerful, and I always thought Fluffle had a really strong base, just needed something to push it over the edge. Now, I'm not saying Fluffle are going to be tier 1 or even tier 2 for that matter, but I do think it's going to be a really solid rogue option. So, with that being said, let's get on with the deck profile. Okay, so quickly before we get into the monster count, I just want you guys to keep in mind that this might not be necessarily your traditional Fluffle list. I actually play more quantities of certain monsters that most people can't play, so please be wary of that. But after playtesting this deck for well over a year and playtesting with the new support since it got revealed, this is just the way I think it should be played, but it doesn't mean that it's the correct way. You can play it however you like, and that's more than fine. So, let's start with the monsters. We play 3 Fluffle Dog, which is obviously very standard. This card searches a Fluffle or an Edgent monster on summon. That be special or normal, that's really good. The new monster, Fluffle Dolphin, we play 3 of this also, and you'll see why soon. But basically what this does is it targets a toy vendor in your graveyard, it will set it, and then it will send a Fluffle or Edgent Sabers from your deck to the grave. And then if it uses a fusion material, you can target a Poly from your graveyard or in your banish pile, and it'll shuffle it into the deck for you, which is really good because you actually do burn through all your Polys super quick considering how easy it is to search them. We play 3 Fluffle Bear. Basically, this one just searches you toy vendor by discarding him, and he combos really well with 3 Fluffle Wings. Fluffle Wings, basically, if it's sent to the graveyard while you control toy vendor, you can banish it, and then banish a Fluffle monster in your graveyard, draw a card, and then destroy toy vendor to draw another card, and then toy vendor will search you another card. So that combo alone is plus 7,000 billion. It's so bananas. That's why I think you need to play 3 of both, because you really want to open both to really gain the advantages in drawing all your really good combo cards. We also play 3 Fluffle Penguin. This combos with everything. Also, this goes well with the Dolphin because it lets you make Muhammad Shark, which lets you make Toad, which is really powerful. But this card is also just more draw power. If it's used as a fusion material, it'll draw you 2 cards and it'll discard 1. So you're really seeing that this deck is sort of turbo, kill your opponent and win. With a little bit of spice for going first, I guess. For the 1-offs, we play 1 Fluffle Cat. Basically, replenishes your not your Super Poly, your Polymerization. If it's used as a fusion material, it'll put it back in your hand. L searches you a Poly on summon, but also lets you pay 500 life points to basically Poly without the Poly from your hand and field, which is really powerful. And then we've got the 1 Sheep. This card's just a fantastic extender. Basically, if you control a Fluffle, you can summon it and then bounce back another Fluffle to your hand. It's really powerful. Onto the Edgent monsters. We obviously run the 3 insane, broken Edgent Scythe. This card, I think, is what not necessarily broke the deck, but what gave it its potential and gave its power back in this kind of format. So what this card does is that during your opponent's turn, you can reveal it and then fusion summon any Fright Foe monster during your opponent's turn. And you know what monster you're probably going to be summoning? That's right, Cruel Whale. Also, fun fact, if your Fright Foe monsters were to be destroyed by a card effect or battle, you can banish it instead. I'm sure you can understand why that's really important. We also play the 3 Egypt Chain. This is pretty standard stuff with the 1 Sabers. Basically searches you the only card that really matters, which is the Patchwork. Sorry, I had a mind fart there, so I had to look at it. Searches you the Patchwork, and Sabers is just an extender endlessly, so that's nuts. Onto the spell cards, we run the 3 best searches in the deck, the 3 Toy Vendor with the 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods becomes a rotor for any Fluffle monster, which is really nuts. We also play the 3 Patchwork. This searches you Poly and an Edgent monster, which is just, 2 cards for 1. It's really strong with no backdraw, no cost, no nothing. This card is really broken. We play, obviously, the 3 Poly. You have to play 3. Come at me if you think you play less, but no one's going to say you play less. That'd be insane to think so. We also play the 1-off Fright Fur Fusion. This is just a Miracle Fusion for Fluffles, and Fright Furs, I should say. It's a really strong card. And we also play, and please mind the backwards cards for this, but I don't own all 3. But we play 3 Forbidden Droplets. The reason we play this is because it's better than Dark Ruler in the sense that you are still allowed to do damage, you weaken your opponent's monsters, and there is no real downside to this card. Also, if you're discarding cards like Edge of Chain, you're going to get pluses off it. So discarding cards is not necessarily bad. Plus, you always accumulate so much hand advantage that discarding cards for cost is really irrelevant in the end. So yeah, I would recommend playing 3 of this. Unfortunately, in Australia, we're in a lockdown, and you know, even finding these cards are really hard right now. People are selling them, but they are quite expensive. A budget alternative can be things like Dark Ruler. It's not as expensive. Forbidden Chalice is really good too. It's really up to you. Like I said, the whole deck, you can change it however you like. This is just a good place to start, and you go from there. Obviously, once tournaments start back up, we might see what's working better, and obviously we're all going to change our decks to kind of acclimate to the format, so there's that. Before we get onto the extra deck, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to nikijo.com.au. Please go there for all your single needs, whether it be Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Dragon Ball Super. They just had a pre-sale on Rise of the Duelist, and it all sold out in, I shit you not, 2 minutes, because their prices are that cheap. Everyone just buys them out, so you need to be there quickly for any kind of pre-sales, but it'll be totally worth it because, well, who doesn't love cheap cards? Okay, so onto the extra deck. We play 3 Fright Fur Whale. There's a reason we play 3, you'll see at the very end. But this card basically on summon will pop 2 cards on either side of the field. Really, really strong disruption. You can basically summon this even if you're going second because of Edgim Scythe, so it's really, really strong. Then we've got the 1 Kraken. Kraken is really strong, and the 1 Sabertooth. I guess these guys, you know, go hand in hand. That's basically how the old playstyle of the deck was. I don't think you need any more than this. You can prove me wrong, of course, but for the most part, you're not really going for these kind of OTK pushes. You've actually got a multitude of ways to do it now. But this is still nice to play because it does come up. We play Wolf. Wolf basically will attack up to the number of monsters you use for its fusion summon. So for the most part, you're going to be using the Fright Fur Fusion because it lets you banish cards from the graveyard, and the graveyard gets stockpiled within a turn, so this card can attack like 15 times. We play 2 Fright Fur Tiger. This card's nuts. Same as the Wolf, sorry. Same as the Wolf, basically pops cards up to the number of fusion materials used, so you will use Fright Fur Fusion again to summon this. But you play 2 because it actually does come up. There are ways to make it work because, you know, cards like, you know, your Fluffle Dolphin will put your Fright Fur Fusion back in the deck. So summoning it twice can come up, and I valued the pops more than the multiple attacks. But that's just me. Onto the Link monsters, we obviously play Cross Sheep because it's a fusion based deck, and you want to push hard for big damage with big monsters, and this helps you get to that point. We play Appaloosa for going first because there is a good chance if you open well enough you can definitely end an Appaloosa and a few other neat cards. Borrelsword for like the big push, you just invest everything, go in and hope you don't get Nibiru, I guess. But this card's really good. Onto the XYZs. This is Abyss Dweller. It is a flex spot. I mean, you do get the attack boost because you will be using water monsters. But again, this you can turn into anything you want. I don't think Abyss Dweller, this card should be format reliant. Whatever you put here, it just depends on the format we're playing in. We obviously play the Bahamut Shark with the Toad because there are some combos where you can actually make this first. So you'll go 5th summon, make this, then you can do your whole combo and not fear Nibiru, which is really nice. Granted, I feel like Nibiru is falling off a bit because of Numeron, but I'm sure Nibiru will make a comeback and we're all screwed, so yeah. And then obviously the star of the show, the VFD, aka the true king of all calamities. Fluffle Whale is level 9. That's all I need to say. In the amount of games I've played with this deck since the new support has come out, I'm pretty sure I've summoned this 90% of the time going first. It is so easy to make. Fright Fur Whale is a generic monster. So, well, not generic, but all it requires is a Edgit monster and a Fluffle monster. It's as generic as it gets for the deck. You make 2 of them, you make this, chances are you are not going to lose. So that's it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you think of the deck. I mean, like I said, I'm more than welcome to constructive criticism. I just want to make this deck as powerful as it can be, and the way I see it, you just want to play 3 of everything, just so you can really get the most potential out of your opening hand. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.